case between the federal government of Nigeria and the detained leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, apparently took a new technical twist on Thursday after one of the lawyers of the detained Biafra leader, Paul Erokoro, San, presented and played 3 videos which the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja later admitted in evidence. The videos of former Nigeria Chief of Army Staff, retired General Theophilus Danjuma, saying, "Security operatives in the West Africa country, specifically the armed forces, are working together with the armed bandits to kill Nigerians," stressing that, if Nigerians depend on the armed forces to curb insecurity, they will all die one by one. Also that of Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, saying politicians are behind killings in the state. Lastly, and the most interesting video played at the court to counter the testimony or statement made by the DSS prosecutor witness over Nnamdi Kanu-led IPOB founding Eastern Security Network, ESN, allegedly created by group of youths in the southeastern geopolitical zone of Nigeria, often referred to as Biafra land, to fight in self-defense against Fulani armed bandits or terrorists that were advancing and killing people in the eastern states during the era of President Muhammadu Buhari, was that of the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, Adeola Ajayi, who is apparently the government chief complainer in the case, and the DSS DG in the video recorded and published by Symphony News Media in February 2025, narrated how youths at Azare community in Katagum local government area and Tafawa Balewa community of Tafawa Balewa local government area in Bauchi state, when the DSS DG was the State Director of State Security Services, SS, resorted to self-help and killed all Boko Haram terrorists that came to attack them without depending on the security operatives. According to the DSS DG, when Boko Haram terrorists invaded Azare community, they started shooting and killing people. Then, the youths went after the Boko Haram terrorists and killed all of them, even when one of the Boko Haram terrorists named Khalid climbed a tree and started firing gunshots from the tree towards the people who were on the lower ground. The Azare people resisted and went after him and subsequently killed him. Although the federal government prosecution witness identified as BBB, who is a DSS operative, stated that the ESN is an illegal organization because there is no approval of government given to the people of Southeast to establish such a self-help group to defend their land against terrorists, unlike a Motecan security network in the southwest states that was approved and permitted by the government, also claiming his boss, the DSS DG in the video, was asking communities to build the first line of defense by thus working with security operatives, but a careful and detailed study of the DSS DG speech in the video shows that the FG witness, BBB, probably talked off points, totally off-key from the original intent and intention of Mr. Adeola Ajayi, the DSS DG teachings and advise in the video, who had said the Azare community people acted in quick response to an emergency situation, and the storyline indicated that the people of Azare prepared themselves. Edo State Governor, Monday, Okpebholo, has called for more stakeholders' supports and actions towards ending secret cult-related killings and other organized violent crimes in the state, stating that the aged-long secret cult war in the south state of Nigeria has driven away a lot of investors, and as such, Edo State has been at a loss of $1 billion every year, with statistics, according to the governor, showing that the natives of Edo State top the list of the highest diaspora remittances in Nigeria, but over 95% of the natives divert the funds to other states to avoid secret cult violence in the state, also known as the heartbeat of the nation. Governor Monday Okpebholo made through the office of the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Fred Ichua in a statement issued on Wednesday. According to the statement, the Edo State Governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, has expressed deep concerns over the adverse impacts of long years of cultism on the state's economy, particularly the loss of lives and the loss of over $1 billion worth of potential investments annually. These acts of violence, predominantly driven by clashes among rival cult groups, have not only led to tragic loss of lives and property but have also discouraged investments and tourism, ultimately slowing economic growth. The Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Fred Ichua, stated that the high spate of cult-related violence in the last 5 years, long before Governor Okpebholo assumed office, has caused substantial disruptions to economic activities, as investors and business owners increasingly grew wary of the security situation. What we have witnessed in Edo was more than a threat to public peace. It was a significant drain on our economic potential. According to statistics by the Diaspora Commission, Edo State tops the list of states with the highest remittance from the diaspora. However, 95% of the repatriated funds ended up in different states because of cultism and other violent crimes, as our people in the diaspora were scared of coming home to invest. This loss in disposable income, closure of businesses, and decline in tourism severely impacted the state's business climate, Ichua said. He noted that the state's critical infrastructure and commercial centers were also affected, with some businesses forced to shut down temporarily or permanently, owing to security concerns. The fear of violence also deterred potential visitors, resulting in a downturn in hospitality, transportation, and other tourism-related sectors. Ichua said the narrative has however changed, since Governor Okpebholo declared a total war on cult-related violence in Edo State. He said the efforts of Governor Okpebholo are already yielding results, with more stakeholders joining the support groups against cult-related violence in Edo State. Ichua noted that the state is regaining its lost glory and that sanity is being restored. He urged Edo sons and daughters both in Nigeria and in the diaspora to bring their investments home and help in the economic development of the state. Governor Nnamdi Okpebholo is restoring peace to Edo State, especially in Benin City, where cult-related violence had held sway for too long. Our hard-working sons and daughters, both in Nigeria and in the diaspora, can now bring their investments to their home. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned a staff of Ecobank plc, Solomon Stephen Ufio, for cybercrime after the suspect made deposit into one of the bank customers' account and later withdrew same without the consent of the account holder. The suspect was arraigned before a federal high court sitting in Lagos State last Friday with one-count charge of alleged cybercrime of impersonating the account holder, Ogunfadunran Omawunmi in violation of Section 22(2)(b)(i) of the Cybercrime, Prohibition and Prevention etc. Act, 2015 and punishable by Section 22(2)(b) of the same Act. The suspect pleaded guilty to the one-count charge and was subsequently remanded to Ikoyi Prison or Correctional Center by the trial judge. Details are presented verbatim below as reported by the Public Relations Unit of EFCC, including the report of Justice Muhammad Maina of the Borno State High Court, sitting in Maiduguri, convicting and sentencing a chief executive officer, CEO of a company, Alhaji Bashir Tanko, to 21 years imprisonment for misappropriation of money paid into the company's account by a petitioner who sought the CEO's consent and used the convict company's account to receive the money he was paid for an execution of contract. EFCC arraigns banker for alleged 2.4 million naira cybercrime in Lagos. The Lagos Zonal Directorate 2 of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Okpebholo, on Friday, May 16, 2025, arraigned one Solomon Stephen Ufio, a staff of Ecobank plc, on a one-count charge bordering on alleged cybercrime to the tune of 2,404,000 nairas, 2,404,000 naira, before Justice Yelam Bogoro of the Federal High Court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos. The count reads, that you, Solomon Stephen Ufio, between the 10th to the 28th day of March, 2025, in Lagos, within the jurisdiction of this honorable court, while working for Ecobank Nigeria Limited as a relief teller, fraudulently represented yourself as Ogunfadunran Omawunmi by posting false deposit and withdrawal tellers on her Ecobank account number 2,801,086,259, with intent to gain advantage for yourself and thereby committed an offense contrary to Section 22(2)(b)(i) of the Cybercrime, Prohibition and Prevention etc. Act, 2015 and punishable by Section 22(2)(b) of the same Act. The defendant pleaded guilty to the charge when it was read to him. Following his guilty plea, Prosecution Counsel, Abdulhamid El Takur, called on David Ngale Gahere, an operative of the EFCC, to review the facts of the case. Gahere told the court that Ufayo, who is a relief teller with the bank, fraudulently represented himself as one Miss Omawumi, a customer of the bank, by posting false deposits into her EcoBank account and moving the total sum of 2 nairas, 404,000, which he filled out in withdrawal deposit slips without her consent and paid the same into his own OPay account.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.